viewers. So, yeah, man. So, how you doing, man? You doing all right?
Man, I'm great, bro. Blessed, bro. Blessed. How about you, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. I was thinking like this is like the second weekend of snow we have in the area. On the East Coast. That was interesting because we haven't had that
Yeah,
much snow.
yeah. No, it's so like twice in a week. That's crazy for DC. That's crazy
Yeah,
for DC.
and a lot of people actually we have a lot of people from outside of the country. So when we say East Coast, it's East Coast of U.S. and Washington D.C. for all the viewers from all over the place, man. Crazy. Wow, we got Canada in the house. Hey, that's what's
Okay,
up.
okay, okay.
A lot of
International.
FL,
Okay.
yeah, FL gang and whatnot. I see a lot of that. Nick Neighbors, you want to give like a little background of like, where you're from or how you started music? Just real short. It doesn't have to be like super in depth.
Okay, I'll try to keep it short for you, man. Because I'll just keep going. But yeah, I'm Nick. I'm from the suburbs of Boston originally, and I first got into music playing my dad's drum set as like a 6 year old. And from there, I was in a musical family, and then from there, I really got into beat making in like 2007 when my friend, shout out Jackson Foot, my friend Jackson introduced me to GarageBand, and from there, I just like got addicted and just took off, man.
That's what's up, man. So I made a mistake. I thought you were an FL Studio user. So my bad.
No,
But
it's all good, bro.
and GarageBand actually has grown over the years. I remember when they first started GarageBand, I was so hype about it, and I bought a laptop when they first introduced that, and yeah, it's gotten a lot better since those first 2 years.
Yeah.
It's crazy
Oh,
now.
definitely, definitely. Yeah.
I think in the beginning you couldn't even record like vocals into it. I don't think so.
Oh, for real. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that was a long time ago. So anyway, what else is going to ask you, man? Um, hey, you want to just jump into some music, man, or you
Yeah, man,
know?
we can let the music speak for itself. Absolutely.
Yeah,
But I want to
yeah.
thank you, bro, for the opportunity. First, I want to thank you for the opportunity, man. I feel so. When I saw that BeatStars had mentioned me in their story, I got so excited, man. Like this is just great. So I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, my pleasure, and we appreciate you, man. Did you? You know what? I was thinking this would be a perfect time for you to. You already said thank you, but you wanted to shout out the people that did the artwork too, man. Because I this is your moment to shout them out for the artwork. Because remember I sent it and you're like, yo, this is dope. So that's our marketing team that put that together, man.
Oh, it's
And
fantastic.
yeah,
Absolutely. Oh, the whole team. I mean, really, I've been on a lot of different events, and it's just been, since our first event we went to together, that was in person. It's always been organized. Abe was at the next one. I mean, he's showing up. Everybody's there. Like the level of engagement that I feel from like the BeatStars team. That's the reason why I really invested in the platform. I'm not invested in any other platform the way I am in BeatStars. So that for that reason, I can feel that passion. You know what I mean? So yeah, absolutely.
that's
Shout out to all the BeatStars people.
hey, that's what's up, man. We appreciate that, man, for real. We appreciate that. So let's jump into some music, man. Is our collab in there? Well, I think we have one left. My bad. I don't want to put you in the spot, man.
That's cool, bro. It's in there. It's like track 5, I think.
Okay.
If
I
you don't mind playing
deliberately
it, yeah. You said
I'm
what?
sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say you if you want to play it in, or I had to kind of set up an order if you want to play it that way. That'd be cool.
Hey man, your show, man. We can do it that way. No worries. And I deliberately didn't listen to anything because the first uh, impression is, golden. You know what I mean? So this is live for me as well as our guests that are here. So we got California up in here. Man, we got a lot of people up in here. Cool. So let's get into some music, and then we'll
Do it.
build from there. Cool. So
Let's
let
do
me
it, man.
find this. And I think you might have to mute your microphone so that way there's no bleed or echo. Thanks, bro.
I'm muted right now.
All right, cool. Here we are right here. We have Nick Neighbours' top picks, and let's actually start from the top, man. He set this up nice, and yeah, and you can set up different playlists and track lists and stuff inside BeatStars. So yeah, it's a really cool feature that I like. So yeah, Bossa Nova. Let's start. Let me mute myself. Let's get it. I got my good headphones on. You're in trouble, man.
Neighbors got the house on fire. 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 Neighbors got the house on fire.
Yo, that's how you start the show, man. That's how you start the show. That was crazy, man. You're getting a lot of awesome feedback. Thank you for those that are, responding and whatnot. Yo, Nick Neighbours, that I can hear your growth, man, as a producer. I can hear what you're doing, man. That's amazing.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it, man.
I see why you chose that one first, man. That one has some vibes. And do you mix your own beats?
Yeah.
Cool. What is your process like a quick rundown of, because it sounds really clean. I like how it's like that kick is slightly distorted. You got a little distortion, but it's punching through real nice. Like, what is your your overall process of mixing in 20 seconds.
In 20 seconds, man,
Not as messing.
make sure the bass is hitting. That's the number one. Drums first, melody second. Just that's kind of my like approach to it. In 20 seconds, I can give you a lot more if you want more. But
No. That yeah, you focus on the drums first. You make that the priority, and then you kind of bring in the other elements. I noticed, right?
yeah, exactly, man. I think one other thing I would say is, the kick in the 808 should always pop the most. So always leave like that room in your mix for the 808 and the kick to just fly in. Like that is super important.
Yeah, and something that's highly debatable. Some producers do it and some don't, and I personally do it on certain beats. Do you sidechain the 808 and kick?
Yeah, it depends on the beat. Most times I do though, and most time it's the kick. I want the kick to be the most prominent thing, and the 808 will just kind of like cut out a little bit when the kick hits. But yeah, I do sidechain. Yep.
Okay, yeah, that's what it sounds like. I didn't even know GarageBand can do that, to be honest. So,
Oh, I don't work on GarageBand. Oh, hold up. I don't work on GarageBand anymore. I work on Logic. I've been working on Logic for like 10 years.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that would be crazy if I made that on GarageBand. You
Yeah, I
know
was
what I mean?
like,
But nah, that was my starting place. Yeah. I've gone to Pro
got you,
Tools and Logic. Now I do Logic exclusively. So, yeah.
got you. My bad for the
That's
confusion
all
there,
good,
because
bro.
that would have been like a huge advertisement for Garage. That's funny, man. Yeah. So yeah, let's get into the next one. Before I do, but what did you have in mind that first beat? Like, who can you hear on it? Like, who you
Man,
vibing with?
I heard some like Roddy Rich type of like melodic kind of rapping on it. You know what I mean? Rhythmic, but also kind of vibey. So I definitely heard like him on that. It'd be a little sunnier of a track from him. Usually his tracks are a little darker, but yeah, that's the person that I really I could hear on that
Yeah,
joint.
same here. Same here. I think that was a major key, actually, not a minor key. I think I could be wrong, but yeah,
Yeah, it's minor.
definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, Bufo has a good question here, and I was going to get into it, but here it is. Thanks for jumping the gun there. How did he pick his name? Basically, Nick Neighbors, how did you get your production name? I know, but
Oh,
they
my
don't know.
production name. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's my real name. That's my government name. My government name is Nick Neighbors. So that was easy. That was very easy. Easy
Yeah.
choice.
Right. And I never met a producer that went by their government name. Why did you choose to do that?
Man, I guess like similar. Always liked artists that put their name in their music. It's kind of a level of like for example, like some old school rappers that I love, like Nas. Like his name's Nasir. You know what I mean? Like a lot of dudes that like put their name in their music. J. Cole, Jermaine Cole, Kendrick Lamar. Like their real name. Something about putting my real name. It's not an alias. You're getting straight me. Like it's just straight me. Like it's kind of like a level of ownership. I feel like in my brand. Like my brand is me. You know what I mean? So I carry that everywhere I go. But then also I would say, I have a dope last name, so it worked pretty well. And growing up, I always liked Scott Storch, and I was like, like yeah, like his name, that's his real name too. So I was like, I like
Is
that.
it?
It's kind of
Oh,
cool.
I didn't know that was
Yeah,
his real name.
yeah.
And your last name is spelled uniquely. So you're like, yeah, that's dope. Let me use that.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
could do is use that for branding. Just use it like have someone knocking on the door or something. You know what I mean? Wait, your tag says what's your tag again?
I tell you, his neighbors got the house on fire.
There you go. So
Yeah,
you're
shout
already
out
doing it.
Bosco, baby. Yeah, shout out my
That's
man
what's up.
Bosco for making that joint.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Yeah, you're already doing it. You're using you as a marketing/branding thing. That's awesome, man. Yeah, we'll get into that in a second. Oh yeah, Pharrell Williams. Yeah, someone commented here. Pharrell Williams uses his real name too. Yeah, thank you for
That's a
reminding
great
me.
point. That's a great
Yeah,
point.
yeah, that's awesome, man. Let's play some more music, and let's get into the next one. OTW. You might want to mute yourself, Nick, if you haven't.
Neighbors got the house on fire. 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 Neighbors got the
Dope,
house
dope,
on fire.
dope. Yeah, I'm seeing a trend here that you just got straight fire, man.
My man, I appreciate
uh,
it, bro.
oh yeah, man, no doubt. I noticed somebody had a comment that had a little house in the fire. So that, where was that? Here it is, right here. Can you see it? Shout out to
Hey, shout out J Myth Music. I appreciate you, bro. That's
yeah.
what's up.
So use that for branding as well. The little house in fire, you know.
I
you,
like that idea. I like that. Yeah.
you know me, man. I'm always studying sales. You know what I mean? So um, there's something I was gonna mention. I do like how you had that little reverse sub effect you got going on, like where it goes backwards a little bit in certain
Mm-hmm.
parts. How long did it take you to kind of program that?
That was really quick. I use Effectrix, which is like this plugin. It's hard to describe it. It's pretty much like 12 effects built in one. It's like a big grid, and like it's like in 2 bar increments. You can like just draw like certain effects. Like say you want in the first like like the first second you want a little bit of phaser to come in, then you want to reverse it, then you want to do a stutter, then you want to do a loop. You can do all that in there like on the fly instead of having to draw the automation like manually, so it's a bit quicker. So I just ran it through Effectrix, selected the part of the sub bass, like that area that I wanted to reverse, and just drew the little line. Boom, that was it. So I'm always looking for more like efficient and economical ways to do do production things like that.
Yeah, man, that's a gem right there. For those that don't know what Effectrix is, you just kind of drop that on them. I think their competition or similar products. I think it's called is it randomizer? What's the other one? There's one that
There's a
glitch.
rhythmizer. There's a
Was it
rhythmizer. Then there's like,
glitch?
yeah,
I think.
oh, glitch. There you go. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the one I use. And what you did, you just chose the sub that particular sound and ran it through Effectrix, right?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, there we go. You guys can use that technique. And, Nick gave you that for free for those that didn't know. All right, man. Let's get in. Oh, and something else I was thinking about. Shout out to you, man, for helping our collab, get exclusive sale there. You did a lot of
Hey, yeah,
work on
yeah,
that.
yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah, yeah, man. That
Yeah.
was a nice moment, man.
Hey, appreciate you, man. We definitely got to do some more in the future for sure, man. So,
Definitely, 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 bro.
yeah. And speaking of collabs, how should producers go about reaching out to other producers to collaborate?
Well, I think it's different for every person, depending on your personality. But what I would say, like, works for me, like if someone's reaching out to me to collab, like what works the best is them like just showing a lot of love without any like motive. Just like, hey, just, I like your beats, man. Like just commenting and just showing love. And then like I like always think collaborations are best when it's more natural. You know what I mean? Where it's not forced. You know what I mean? That's how you make the best music. So I feel like just being just authentic. You know what I mean? Just be authentic. Like I like your music, man. I like what you're doing, and just complimenting and showing love, and that that always comes back. That always comes back to you. So that's what works for me. That's what I like when people do that for me, and I do the same thing, for them too.
Yeah, man. Appreciate the honesty and the sincerity. I definitely wholeheartedly agree. And I think you can also pass that to artists as well. You
Oh, definitely, yeah,
generally,
definitely.
right. You generally mess with, an artist's music, you automatically gravitate to who they are because the music's extension of themselves. So, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that. Absolutely, yeah. That definitely. I totally agree. It applies to artists too. 100%. hundred
Yeah,
percent.
man. Cool. Let's get into the next one. Love without expectation of return. Thank you, Evo Music Live. Basically, not your true intentions being needy, like wanting something by reaching out, rather than giving value to someone else. So that's some deep stuff. We can have the whole live stream about that because we are on some deep stuff. But right there, man, y'all pay attention to that. So let's oh, and somebody mentioned DB glitch. Is that one you're familiar with?
That sounds
Neighbours?
familiar. I've never used it, but I've heard it's dope. I've heard it's really dope.
Cool, man. Yeah, let's play some more music. And the next one is slow motion. Sounds like an R&B track. Let's see what it is.
Neighbors got the house on fire. 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 Neighbors got the house on fire.
Yo, crazy, man. Slow motion from Nick Neighbors. That is crazy, man. I really like that surprise towards the end, the change up. That it took the beat a different place, man. I really like that. You know what you can do is actually just use that ending too to make a whole nother beat and kind of vibe off of that too, you know. Yeah, that's crazy. What do y'all think? You get a lot of love from that, Nick. That's crazy, man. Who do you hear on that?
Man, I heard like definitely a female vocalist, a female R&B artist, definitely like Summer Walker, even like Kalani, that kind of vibe. That's what I hear on that.
Yeah, that's exactly who I was thinking. There's a lot of really dope female R&B artists. Summer Walker would sound cool on that, you know. Um who else would sound cool? LMI, along those
Yeah,
lines.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Something laid back, something kind of chill.
yeah, even throw Bryson Tiller in there, He would sound cool on it. Janae, yeah,
Definitely.
Janae Aiko. I did see
Oh,
some.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's y'all in the same boat. And I was thinking as I was listening to that, do you upload pre-tag? Do you like put your tag in the beat for streaming purposes, or you letting it auto tag?
Yeah, I do. I actually upload it with the tag because my tag is very like locked into tempo. So I find it's a little cleaner just to have it just that way. But I've used in the past when my tag was a little bit shorter, it was just like Nick Neighbors. I use the auto tag feature, which is super helpful because it'll just like every 7 seconds or whatever, it will like automatically put it on there. But for these beats, I've been just uploading it with the tag already in the file.
Got you. And not a lot of producers do that, but I really think that also it fits a lot better in the beat tempo wise. And also, you're specifically placing it right before that drop. I noticed, like right
Yeah, yeah,
before,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
which I think I should start doing, but I was kind of lazy with that. So you're inspiring me to do something.
I gotta
um,
shout out the Metro Boomins for that though. You know what I mean? They're those like type producers. That's what inspired that, because you know what I mean. That tag right before the drop, like people, you want your tag to be something that people like want to hear. Like they look forward to hearing it. You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of tag I feel like I aspired to have.
yeah, man, it takes just a little bit of extra effort to do it technically, but when they receive it, it's a lot more. You know what I mean? They're like, yeah,
Yeah,
that's kind of dope. And you can
definitely.
also tune it to the key of the beat as well. I know some that go an extra step and tune it to the actual, just pitch it up or down, whatever, to match the pitch of the beat, the scale of the beat. So, do you do that as well, or am I calling you out too much?
No, man, no, that's a great question, man. That specific one, no, I don't do that. I've messed around with a couple of things in the past that have done that in the past, but that one's just straight, just straight off the file. No
Okay,
manipulation.
gotcha. And that's something you can experiment with, just if you ever had the motivation to. Someone said Jeremiah,
Oh
J
yeah,
Nick
yeah,
Music.
yeah, yeah. Definitely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. He suffered a health scare too, so I'm glad he's doing better, man. Um,
Mhm.
let's see. Lamar Slaps official says that slow motion beat can take your beat block away. Very inspiring. So yeah,
Thanks,
man.
man. Thank you, bro. That's really nice, man. Thank you,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. Awesome feedback, man. Yeah. See, that's why, I'm also, excited we get to do this because I know what you make already. And I was like, yeah, I want people to hear what you're doing and help inspire the people. It's so important, especially nowadays.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, man. That absolutely. That's on the forefront of all our minds. Really, it's the most the reason why I look forward to this the most, this whole show, is just to be able to share with the community, you know what I mean? And BeatStars is a real community with like real people really actually invested in it. So it's you know what I mean? I really take a lot of pride in being part of that community.
Hey, man, we love it, man. Much love, bro. And it's worldwide, man, international. I'm seeing different countries right here, right now. So, yeah, let's get into some more music. So we go from slow motion to thug love. All right, let's get it.
BeatStars.com. Neighbors got the house on fire. BeatStars.com. 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 BeatStars.com.
All right. Yeah. I'm feeling that one too, man. That tag you got on that beat right there, that tag is crazy, man.
Thanks, bro. Thank you, bro.
Oh man. Yo, BeatStars.com.
I think that's like
There's
the
someone.
auto one or something. I don't know where I got that from. I think that was like the automatic one or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's the default one. I'm just messing with
Yeah.
you, man. Yeah. Something I was gonna say. A lot of comments are about the 808 in that track. Let's touch on that a little more. What is your well, if you don't mind sharing, like what do you do to make it sound like that?
Yeah, man.
If you don't mind, sharing a
No,
little bit of
I have
sauce.
no problem. You know me, I'm 100% transparent. Like I'll say whatever. Like for the 808, the first thing to do is get the volume right. This is the more basic thing. You get the volume right, and then from there, it's all about compression. You know what I mean? And I noticed I really learned how to get my 808 banging by studying successful BeatStars producers, because I think it's important, like, to keep in mind there are like professional engineers, and then there's also the engineering aspect of a beat making process, which is different. They're different things. You know what I mean? And what I noticed is, specifically, like people who make my genre on BeatStars, how their beats are mixed. The 808 is incredibly aggressive, extremely aggressive, more aggressive than like a studio mix on an album. Usually it's a little bit harder. So once I kind of noticed that artists who want to buy my beats are looking for that. Like every artist I've met, they always want something that's just slamming. So what I started doing with my 808 was turning up the volume, but then also using a lot of compressors, specifically Waves Trans X Wide, which is like a micro compressor, the transient designer, I think it's called, where it like allows you to manipulate like the first like 12 milliseconds, and you're able to like make that like that click. You get that click on the right when it hits and get the impact. Because bass isn't all about just how loud it is. It's more about impact, especially when you're talking about like 60 hertz. You know what I mean? That's straight. That's in your chest. Like that's just straight in your chest type of sound. So really, yeah, just I put a lot of L2. I put like maximizers on it. Just really crush it. Get it really, really really dense. And then I also brighten it up too. I used to like keep my 808s dark, but I realized that people want the 808 to like cut through the whole mix a lot of the times. Kind of how like in house music, if you listen to that, you'll notice like the kick drum will just cut through every frequency range. I mean, it's got the sub, it's got a click at the top, it's got the whole thing. So I started mixing my 808s a little differently. That's a great example, that track right there, of what I'm doing.
Yeah. Definitely, man. Thanks for breaking it down, for a lot of
For
the
sure.
viewers here. Because it's a very popular sound, and it wasn't always around, because I've been around a bit, and I noticed how music has changed, and that kick and 808 combination is, was hot right now. So being that you're tapping into that and you bodied it with the last couple of beats,
Thanks, man.
it's crazy, man. Evo Music Live says saturation and subtle, I meant subtle, mid, high end distortion on 808s add amazing texture too. So it's
That's
basically
a
the
great
same
point.
thing. Yeah, almost the same thing, but there's different ways to do the same thing. Like I could take the 808 and do something a little unique that you don't do. So it's all about experimentation and how far are you willing to experiment.
Right.
Because I've done some crazy stuff with 808s, and people are like, how the hell did you do that? I don't remember. I was in the zone putting plugins in and
Right.
doing what you said, yeah, just going crazy, man. So
I know my
yeah.
my first beat, Bossa Nova. That one I ran it through Decapitator. I love Decapitator. Sound Toys Decapitator is like my favorite distortion plugin. I just ran it through that, just super aggressive, and you can just totally shift the whole sound of it. Like you said, you can make it something totally different. You can give it way more tone when you do that, like mid the saturation in the mid range. You give it a lot more tonal, qualities. It's a dope thing. It's a dope thing, man.
Yeah, that's one of my main go-tos. The other one, sausage fattener, and what's the
Oh
other
yeah,
one?
yeah.
There's another one, R-Bass, which is a
Oh
lot
yeah,
of
our
people.
base. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
that
yeah.
one's crazy by
That was good
Waves.
too, man. Yep, that's
Uh,
a great one, man.
and FL Studio, speaking of all FL gang out there, they have Fruity Soft Clipper, which is a
Mm.
technique you can do by raising a volume multiplier, which automatically kind of does what you do. So that's another tip. I wish I could show my screen, but this is, it's not a tutorial, a beat tutorial. This is a showcase. But anyway, we're getting into some deep stuff. So yeah, there's some gems for y'all. Yeah, cool. So, all right, let's get into some more music. And if I start stopping them about midway, doesn't mean that I don't like them. I just want to get through more of Nick Neighbours' music. So, cool, man.
That's cool, bro.
All right, let's get it. So, next up, let's see. We got Struggle.
Yes, sir.
Here we go.
Neighbors got the house on fire. 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 Neighbors got the house on fire.
All right, I have to stop. Yo, I was going to stop at 20, 30 seconds before that, but I wanted to hear You got me with another changeup, man. There you go again. Yeah, I was gonna stop it, but I was like, yo, let me listen to it some more. That's a banger. That's dope, man. They're all really good. Something that stuck to me though. The way the piano has that little mute, it's like a pause, and then you bring it back with the drums. Like that was a very, very unique touch that you did, man. So yeah, kudos to you, man. That's a nice combination of drums with the pause of that piano section there, and also the change up, kind of like the chords over top of it. Do you want to just kind of express where you're coming from with that beat, or like how you approached it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, man. Actually, this is one like I really want to talk about too because growing up, I grew up like listening to rap music like in like 2002 I started really getting into it, and it was more like radio stuff. But then about like 5 years after that, I started getting into a lot of 90s stuff. And still like to this day, like the 90s era, the Nas, Illmatic, Common Resurrection, all that kind of music always really spoke to me a lot. And so when I first started making beats, it was boom bap. It was like straight boom bap. Like it was like
Yeah,
me trying to be Jay Dilla. Like, and I was like remaking all the beats off of Fantastic Volume 2, trying to like do that. You know what I mean? That whole like vibe. And this specific beat, what I like about it is I've really reinvented myself. Like a lot of people probably might not even be able to know that I used to make boom bap. I used to make trance and house music, and I used to make film score music. I used to make all five of those. And I've transitioned to making like the trap sound and rap and R&B, like current music sounding stuff. But my heart is I still have that heart for, you know, the soul samples, the live instrumentation samples. And I feel like this specific beat I feel like it's a hybrid, and it really made me think of artists like a YBN Cordae, like that kind of artist. You know what I mean? Like the J. Cole's, that kind of like, you know, you could get a little more lyrical. You know what I mean? Like, so that's kind of where I was coming from with that specific beat.
yeah, man. I could definitely hear how exactly what you said. How it's a hybrid of boom bap elements, you know, with a current almost trap soul, but also, you know,
Yeah.
that 808 thing that you do. So yeah, excellent job combining those elements, man. Really, really dope. I like that one a lot. Yeah, great job on that. There's something I was going to ask you. Oh, the let's jump into release schedule. Do you have like a specific release schedule with your beats and your music?
Yeah, definitely, man. And I would definitely say to all the producers out there, you know, consistency is like the most important thing. You know, I remember, bro, when you told me at the show at the first BeatStars show that I went to, you said, you know, I asked you a question. I was like, you know, I just want to get the free account. Like, should I just stick with the free account and just till I get my first sale and then I'll go pro? And you said, bro, like you need to invest in yourself. Like you need to invest in yourself. And that really stuck with me. And so how that relates to consistency is, you know, that's how you make sales. It's really consistency. And just not giving up, you know what I mean? Just keep posting and keep going and keep going. And for me, you know, I think it works differently for a lot of different people. But for me, I'm pretty methodical. So I like to have a specific schedule. So I really do Mondays and Thursdays. I put beats out for the most part. I feel like, you know, as long as you're putting out like 2 beats a week or average somewhere around there, I think you can get traction. You can make sales if you're consistent.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thanks for sharing your strategy. And I'm glad my advice helped. You know, because I say a lot, but I'm glad you got that out of that. You know, meetup. And I can speak volumes on investing because what it does, it takes away that fear. You know what I mean? You kind of people are scared to put money in themselves. Like if you don't put money in yourself, who else is going to give you money or support
Exactly.
you as much as what you do for yourself? You know what I mean? So
Right.
you took that and ran with it, you know. And it goes on all volumes, not just, you know, an account. You know what I mean? It goes on
Right.
a lot of things. Investing just doesn't mean money either. Time,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sacrifices,
Yeah.
your energy, you know,
Yeah.
and monetary money is an exchange of energy anyway, but you kind of get what I'm saying. It's more than just money. So investing in yourself is vital. You know what I mean? And you believe in
Yes.
yourself. So
Yes. And I love what you said, sacrifice, that word, because that is my favorite one. I always think about what am I willing to sacrifice to achieve my goal? Because you can't do everything. You can't be everything at the same time. You have to make sacrifices. And that's the difference between people that get ahead and people that never go, is that they're not willing to sacrifice their time. They're not willing to spend the money. They're not willing to challenge themselves. You know what I mean? Like that, you got to sacrifice your comfort. You got to sacrifice something. I think everybody has their own level of comfort. So I want to be clear. I'm not one of those producers that says, quit your day job, drop everything, get rid of your girl, just make beats all the time. Because I've encountered these people, and it's like, damn, I'm not you, bro. Like that's cool, man. You got it like that. Like some of my best friends, I know my best friends, he works like 70, 80 hours a week in the studio. Like that's cool, man. That's good for you. But everybody has their own balance. And so, but you have to make sacrifices. I mean, you just have to, like, if you want to get to a certain level. So I always focus on that. What am I sacrificing right now? Like, what am I willing to do?
Yeah.
Me.
Well said. And I was thinking, like, it's a crossroads. You come up to one destination, you can go left or go right. There's always, I can make a beat, or I can watch the Super Bowl,
There you go. Yes.
You know what I mean? I can eat and play video games, or I can send out, these emails to these potential clients, and people I can collaborate with. And also I can do a BeatStars Sunday Sounds show, or I can just say, nah, I'm good. I'm kind of, not ready. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
Two choices. There's always two choices, at least two choices you can take. And people take sacrifice as a negative, I see sacrifice as a choice. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It's a choice of what you want, what defines you, or what you want to do. So why did I get so deep, man, on the show again?
No, it's both of us, bro. It's both of us. We both got that energy, bro. I see the books you read. I see the books you're reading. I'm reading the same kind of books, bro.
Right. We'll get into that in the next segment. You did mention Dilla. Happy birthday, Dilla. I believe today is his birthday. So yeah.
Oh, really? It's Dilla Day today. Okay.
I think it is, because I saw some posts and whatnot. So Evo Music Live and Fat Wave Beats. Yeah, I think it is his birthday today. So monumental producer. We can talk another hour on what Jay Dilla did. And there was so much music I loved and I didn't know he did. And then I found out he did it. I'm like, yo, he did that too. Oh man, it's crazy.
Was it Tribe Called Quest like stuff, or
no? This was actually a beat on an R&B artist. Not many people know, but you might know Bilal.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's one of the Soulquarians. I think he was part of that too. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And he, on his first album, Jay Dilla did Reminisce.
I think I've heard it, man. I gotta listen to it again though.
Man, you're gonna love that. Yeah, when you hear it, you're like, you might not even know Jay Dilla did that. And I was like, this is, because it has a hip hop element, but it took like this whole soulful vibe that I never heard him do before. So it's something different that he normally does. And I wish he did more of that, but it's very, very unique, kind of like a needle in a haystack in a way of greatness. So yeah.
Well, I gotta check that out, bro.
Yeah. So next up, I noticed I see my name there, our collaboration. We got to it. So Nick did his thing on some sounds that I have and whatnot. So came out pretty dope, man, to say the least. So this is Night Ride, and actually it's a fan favorite on my side as well, man. So yeah, let's see how everybody thinks about it. And it's always cool to see producers showing love on here. I see a lot of really good comments. So yeah, let's get it. Night Ride.
Neighbours take them selling dope.
Yeah, that came out amazing, man. And you know, it's funny. I think I have that pack right here on the BeatStars platform. So I think I still have the same sound kit, that, we use for that. So yeah. And it's cool like to hear what direction that inspired you to go. Um, and I'm really getting good at this. So when you get a piece of work or like a melody or something, do you prefer it to be more simplistic, so that way it inspires you, or do you like more complex stuff? Like, how are you inspired when you get like sound packs and whatnot? Like, what kind of sounds help you be more creative?
That's a great question, man. I would say, most of the times when I look for samples, I'm usually looking for. Well, actually, I'm gonna say it like this first. When the way I look at samples, it's a collaboration with the person who made the sample. Really, that's how I look at it. Like when I'm on Splice, like it's a collaboration. It's a us together. And so I like to take little pieces of say good like guitars, etc. Like just things that I can't do. I like finding someone like what makes a great production duo is somebody you work with somebody who's great at things that you're not great at. So I look for people who are fantastic sound designers. I look for people who have great chords and great feel for like acoustic instruments, guitars, piano, stuff that I can't do. I can sit down and block out chords and do synth sounds. I'm good at that. But I often look for sounds that I couldn't otherwise generate. You know what I mean? So I say on that note, a lot of times I look for like guitar like chords or little melodies. I also look for a lot of vocal samples. I love vocal samples, especially when they're royalty free. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
definitely getting those. I would say that's kind of what inspires me. I look for sounds that I couldn't get on my own to make it a more fleshed out musical experience that could pull in people who like different genres and different. That's kind of how I look at it. If
Yeah,
that makes
yeah,
sense.
that makes sense. Yeah, that's pretty much what collaboration is all about. It's finding like the best parts of the two separate parts, and you're putting it together.
Exactly.
You're making something dope, And there's so many production duos out there that to this day, still making music together. You know what I mean? No matter what, they walk in the studio, you already know they're gonna make something crazy
Right.
because they feed off each other. So yeah, I'm glad we have. We had a couple in the bag. So yeah, man,
Yes,
definitely,
sir.
definitely appreciate you doing that collab with me, and it came out great, man. And and let me touch on this as well. How well is communication when it comes to collaboration on the business side?
How
Sp-
well? I'm sorry. Can you say it again? You said how well is How? What about
How
communication?
Yeah, how important is it about having communication when it comes to collaborations on the business side, like splits, or hey, we're gonna release this Friday and 2 weeks late, so stuff like that. Like, how important is it to communicate, especially with people you don't know?
Yeah, that's a great question, man. I mean, that's really important. It's really important. You know, you got to look at it like everyone. We're all trying to eat, and for being a producer and being a professional producer is very challenging. We need each other, and that's the strength behind BeatStars right there. So, on that note, with business endeavors, be transparent. I mean, you got to be transparent and you got to be, reliable and communicate directly. You know what I mean? Don't make assumptions, but communicate, directly. I used to be somebody who used to work a lot in solitude. And I've learned like the strength of collaborating with people. It really brings out a whole new side of you. And I got to shout out my production partner right now, Omega. We're the beat surgeons. Me and Omega are the beat surgeons, and you're gonna hear a lot of our music soon. And me and him, like I've known him for like 5-6 years, and it's just kind of a natural thing. But when it comes to business, like you gotta be very upfront. Be very upfront. This is livelihood. What you're talking about, even if it's only $20, it doesn't matter if it's 20 or 20,000. Like you know what I mean, 50-50 split. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I look at it. I take it very seriously, very seriously.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad you said that. That's why I asked the question, because Some people tend to lack in communication when it comes to collaborations, and that's a detriment. You know, you're shooting yourself in the foot because you're breaking that relationship, you know, forever. For some people, you know, some people don't want to
Yeah.
work with you when you can't communicate. And there's also different levels of communication, especially in this digital era. You know, people, there's email, you know, or texting, but, you
Right.
know, rarely people call, you know what I mean? Or just talk a
Mm,
video like this, or collaborate, you know, on a, you know, like a VPN or whatever, you know, back and forth. So there's different levels. There's talking or in person, you know, that's first in person. And we do have a in-person relationship. And then there's on the phone, and then there's, you know, like digital. So there's different levels. And
I
when
see.
any of
Yeah.
them, you know, are grade, you know, conflict can arise. So, you know, I
Mm.
was just piggybacking what you were saying. Man, I can get so deep on here, man. Hopefully y'all are enjoying some of these gems we're dropping on Sunday Sounds. Let me say the announcements again before I forget, because I told you, man, I can get into this forever. So like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, for those that are here now, we have the Space Outcast Remix Challenge. Larry O and J Tech, shout out to y'all, are bringing you an all-new remix challenge featuring their song Space Outcast. Download the free stems and acapella, make a beat around it, and enter to win some super dope prizes. You visit beatstars.world/space-outcast. Outcast is OUTKAST for information. Submissions end on February 26th at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. And also the FL Studio Challenge we have. BeatStars has teamed up with FL Studio. Shout out to FL Gang. To bring you an all-new cook-up challenge. So download the sample, cook up some heat, and enter to win over 1,500 worth of prizes. So we'll be choosing one winner per sample. So make sure you visit beatstars.world/cookup for more information. And that challenge ends on February 28th at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. So don't miss out on those opportunities. And speaking of opportunities, how important is it to take advantage of opportunities, Mr. Neighbours? I like that,
Man,
actually.
yeah, I like the way you said that, man. That was smooth, man. You're getting good at this, man. You're smooth, man. Yeah, man. Opportunities, man. I mean, that's everything. And I've participated in BeatStars opportunities as well, and it's always been an enriching process. So even if you don't produce like this specific music, even if you think like, oh well, this is a little different than what I do, that's exactly why you should do it. Just do it and just see what you come up with. So I think, you know, opportunities, you got to move fast, like, and you got to just go after them. You know what I mean? And I think that's probably a requirement for being an entrepreneur. I would say something that I've realized you just need to just go and get it. Period. You know,
Yeah, exactly. Do you remember what the acronym of FEAR is? I'm testing you now.
man. No, I literally I thought about that when we were just talking about the first event, but man, I forgot, man. I'm gonna write it down though. I'm writing it down this time. You're not gonna
It's
catch
all
me
right.
again, bro.
You can watch the replay. It's all right, man. All right. FEAR. Put it in the comments if you know what the acronym is, but false events appearing real.
Yeah.
So basically, whatever you're manifesting as fear isn't really real. You know what I mean? So I don't want to go too far with that, but I'll let you write that down, let that marinate for everybody that's watching and that sees that later. And hopefully that gem, thank you, J Myth Music, thank you. That those gems will help you in the future, man. Really appreciate y'all. And somebody else said something really nice. Evo Music Live, man. Nick, check out this comment here. Thank you, Fanatic and Nick N, for taking the time to actually talk as the artists and people that you are. We are all here to appreciate and support the artists you are, but to hear and experience you as people is a true privilege. And I personally appreciate this opportunity. Man, thank you, man. That's like one of the best comments I ever read. I really appreciate it. Do you have any reply there, Nick?
Oh man, I mean that. I don't know what else to say. I really, really appreciate that, man. That made my day, bro. Thank you, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Because it goes a long way because on the internet and social media, there's a lot of hate, man, and a lot of discord in people and how they express towards other people. But that means a lot, man. Thank you. So let's get through the songs here because we can talk, man. So the next one is So Cold. Let's get it.
Neighbors got the house on fire. 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 Neighbors got the house on fire.
Yeah, that's dope, man. I like that little run. I think the flute that is like a little run it keeps doing towards the end of the phrase. That stood out to me. And the chords, man, did you play those or kind of just what do you call them? Arranged them?
Yeah, so it was like the core melodic elements, the guitar sample. So the chordal elements coming from the guitar, and I put a little bit of a little synth lead over that, just some keys, down, 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 down. That's the rest of that. Pretty simple, man.
Yeah. That little little run that flute does at the end. That's hard to. It just kind of brings out the beat, and the drums are crazy as well. So pretty much every beat you played on here, the drums are just nasty, man. So really dope stuff.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, you're welcome. Here's Blueberry Dream.
Neighbors think I'm selling dope.
All right, that's Blueberry Dream, and I like the name of that. I noticed you chose to do a lighter. I don't even think there's a kick in there, but it's a soft kick with an 808. That was probably because you're going after specific sound, right? Because that's a little different.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I figured. Because that one has like, I don't even know if there's a kick in there, but it's obviously 808 in there. But yeah,
No
it has some
kick. Yeah,
vibes.
no kick. No kick.
Okay, okay. That at least my ears still hear something. We did have a really good comment question, if I can find it. There we go. Carlos says or asks, any tips on people just starting their BeatStars? You have any tips for them, Nick?
First, give yourself a pat in the back because you already made it somewhere. First thing. That's a great step. You made a good choice. From there, just keep making music, man, and just keep uploading it. That's it. Just keep going.
There you go. Straight and simple. And a lot of times that's what it is. Us creatives tend to make things harder than what it is. And we, like I was saying, we stop ourselves from growth by overthinking things. We overthink beats. We overthink certain marketing things to do, certain posts and stuff like that. Especially starting out, you got to kind of just let go and just push yourself, and also not listen to other people because everybody's journey is different. Take what works for you, but don't let it define you. Hey,
there you go. There you go. Look at you dropping gems, man. Come on, man. Let's go. We gotta write a book after this, bro.
Y'all take that snippet and post that.
I love it, man. Don't let it define you. Yes. Yes.
I don't let other people define my creative abilities ever.
No, you can't. You can't, man. You can't, bro. And that's exactly on that point. It's exactly why I say the first thing I said was congratulate yourself, because as a creative, it's hard, man. Because creating something, you're putting a piece of yourself into it. It's a little different than stapling some packets at your office job. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're putting yourself into it, and that's like, that can be intimidating. It can be scary. So just even being willing to be like, you know what, I want the world to hear my stuff, and just putting it out there. That is worth a pat in the back right there.
Yeah, definitely. Congratulate yourself. You're right, man. And you're going to take some criticism. A lot of people won't like certain things. And also, you're making like instrumentals. Like, sometimes artists have it worse because they're getting on stage.
Oh, yeah.
They're talking about, very personal stuff they've been through or experienced, and you get to do it musically. So it's
right.
It's different levels of expression. So let me play the next beat. This one is Sunshine. And this is number 9 bars right there.
Neighbours think I'm selling dope.
You have a change up on this one, Nick?
Nah, it just keeps going.
Okay. Definitely dope, man. I like the space that you have on that beat, you know, like I know a lot of producers suffer by not knowing that balance between you know, having what do you call it, and shout out to my community that's here as well. You know, artists and producers. Appreciate y'all being here. I see you. But like I was saying, I notice you have a good balance of knowing how many sounds to add in a beat. So, do you want to speak about like how you got to this point? Because I suffered that for a long time. You know, I was always like, I'm gonna keep adding stuff. I love adding stuff, and like really top producers, they're like, yo, this is beautiful, man, but I don't see an artist on it.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I hear you 100%. Honestly, that's the best. Some of the best feedback I got today was you saying that, because I too had that same problem for a while. You know, it's like me specifically. I produce like instrumental songs for a while, and then there's a difference between an instrumental song and a beat. Very big difference.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
they overlap, but like for example, I loved Introducing by DJ Shadow. Everyone should check that out. It's so cool. Have you heard that album before, man?
What is it called? And
It's called Introducing by DJ Shadow.
no, I haven't heard it.
Oh man, you got to hear that. That's a Guinness World Record. The first album to be entirely made from samples, and it's like a trip. It's like trip hop. It's like hip hop, but like it kind of like progresses and has like outros and intros and changes. It's very very interesting. So definitely all producers should check that out. It's called Introducing, END, and I mentioned that one because they're songs, like, you know what I mean, this and instrumental song is meant to be played by itself, and so
Mm-hmm,
I made
mm-hmm,
those for a long time,
mm-hmm.
and then I started wanting to collaborate more with artists, and I learned that, you know, you really got to dial it back. So my mentor Jackson, shout out Jackson for my best friend from back in the day, he's a successful producer now. He taught me just like simple it, just make it simplify it, like literally use two sounds, like I'll
Mm-hmm.
restrict yourself to only two sounds and just see how much you can create with those two sounds. And I feel like for the realm of hip hop, like if you want to make like trap beats or whatever, simple are the ones that are the earworms. Like not everybody wants to make radio music. Not everybody wants to try to make a top 10 record. You know, a lot of people will say that, but they don't actually want to create that music. But if you really listen to those beats, for example, like Cry Baby, Meg Thee Stallion and The Baby, it's a hit right now. Or even
Mm-hmm.
Body, Meg Thee Stallion. The only melodic element is a sub bass in the whole track. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's very very minimal, and I had to really work on myself and discipline myself to not use too many, you know, sounds. And I still feel like I'm still guilty of it at times. I definitely am. But I would say in this, especially in this era of hip hop music, I think producers can throw more sounds in, because what I'm noticing is the way rap artists tend to specifically tend to perform. Melody is a very prevalent in rap now, where it wasn't like in the 90s really as much.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that they can sing like in flow. The flow is a little more loose, and so you can I think you can put more sounds in now than you could back in the day, honestly. And so it's a great time to be a producer, you know, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah. You said so much there, man. Yeah. And you learn to discipline yourself with limiting how many sounds and what sounds you choose, but also pushing your creativity with that limitation. Nice. Nice. See how I broke that down?
Smooth, man. Smooth, bro.
Hey, I'm flexing. All right, so let's last beat, man. Let's see what Nick Neighbors is presenting on this last beat, and we had some comments here. You know what? I'm gonna save uh some of these questions for just probably like a minute or two. I'm doing really good on time. So let's check out the last beat before I mute myself. This is Oprah.
I want to say something real quick. The
Go ahead.
title, so there's something for producers too. Why is that track called Oprah? Like when you look at the names of my tracks, Sunshine, So Cold. Like one thing I learned, marketing is a big part of, selling any business. Any business needs to have marketing. And I think it's important for you as an entrepreneur and as a musician to find a balance where you incorporate marketing while still being true to your artistic visions and whatnot. And specifically, so that some of my tracks have there's no like tight beat or whatever. Some of them have tight beat. I was experimenting with different ways to reach, certain people. And this beat that's coming up, I called it that because Lil Yachty had a hit song with the Baby and Drake, and I think was it called Oprah's Bank Account. It was it was a hit. So I was like, I'm gonna put that on. Let me put that on there, and then like people see it, they'll be like, oh yeah, let me listen to that. You know what I mean? So it's great to experiment with different marketing things, and first just accept that you need to market your stuff. Like you will not thrive without marketing. Like without a marketing mind, it's part of the game. And some people might not want to do that. Some people just want to make music, and I know people like that. Well, maybe a different career path is good for you. Maybe you want to be in the industry. I don't know. But when it comes to BeatStars and stuff like that, yeah, if you want to have your own business, then you need to embrace marketing to some degree, just to some degree.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, I get what you were doing as soon as I saw Oprah. So thanks for breaking that down, giving a disclaimer for those that are like, yo, why do you call it that?
It's just random.
Yeah, it reminds me of something I did with Old Town Road. Shout out to Lil Nas X. I did a song called Tombstone, a beat called
There you
Tombstone
go.
around
Okay.
when that was popular. So, and I kind of twisted it up and did my own thing on it. So this is basically the same concept. It's marketing. Yeah. And that's
Is that
a
named after
whole.
the sample? The sample was like, is that named after the song you got the sample from? Tombstone? How'd you get that?
No. There's an old Western called Tombstone.
Oh,
And
yeah.
my
There you
dad and
go.
I used to watch it, and it reminded me of that movie. And
There you
I
go.
just put Lil Nas X type beat. So I use that momentum of a popular artist in the song, but I also
Yeah.
put my own little experience into the title of it. And actually, it's my first time telling that on camera. So, if y'all want to check it out, it's DJ Fanatic Beats, Tombstone. But it's kind of like my own vibe on, that Old Town Road. So, and actually got a lot of traction, man. So, yeah. It's a marketing thing. All right, here goes Oprah.
Mute myself.
Neighbors think I'm selling dope.
You know what I'm gonna ask you? Is there a change up?
Nah, this one.
Okay.
Thank you for asking, bro. Seriously though, I
Yeah.
appreciate that, man.
Yeah, for sure. And there you have it, Oprah, and that's Nick Neighbors
Hey.
right there, showcasing just 10 of his beats in one of our collabs. Thanks for putting that in there, by the way. Appreciate that. What do y'all think about that? Let me know in the comments, man. Definitely appreciate all of y'all being here live with us right now. And again, this is Nick Neighbors on the Sunday Sounds BeatStars show. And we really appreciate you being here, man. You want to shout out anybody and let people know where they can find you on BeatStars and whatnot and your socials and all that?
Absolutely. I'm gonna shout out my wife first and foremost, Abigail. I
Hey,
think she's watching this in the other room. I love you, baby.
hey,
My
Abigail.
fam. Yeah, of course. You know her. You actually was you were the DJ for our wedding, so shout out to you. Um, and my whole family, my friends. Um, and yeah, you can find me on Instagram on BeatStars Nick Neighbors, and that's Neighbours. Don't forget the U. Yeah, I drop beats every Monday, every Thursday. I'm constantly uploading heat, so just check out my page, man. Thank you so much for having me too, man. Thank you to the whole BeatStars, community and the family. I really appreciate y'all.
It's a pleasure, man. We're glad you're a part of it, and glad you're open to being interviewed and sharing your music, and also sharing your knowledge, for other producers, and also just being a long time, basically family member of the fam. You know what I mean? So yeah, I wouldn't have met you without BeatStars, to be honest. I don't think I would have. So yeah, it was a definitely cool experience and opportunity. And we're gonna drop some questions in here, y'all. We're gonna do probably 5 minutes of questions. And the first one I noticed that we didn't respond to is shout out to Almighty Sanaxo, and please excuse me if I mess up your names because I don't mean anything personal. So if I mispronounce, please excuse me. He says, "What does a publishing deal mean in your own definition, Mr. Neighbors?"
Oh man, okay. Well, I'll be
Heavy.
honest, Almighty. I'll be honest with you, bro, or sis. Um, I don't have one, so all I can speak on is I have my best friend has had one for quite some time, and a publishing deal I think is a goal that a lot of us producers have. It's a very tangible sign of success. It's something, yeah, that I think is really, I'm gonna say glorified, but I might say glorified because some people really think that they gotta get signed. And I think it's definitely from watching my friend go from a producer in his college years to going along the road to being multi-platinum and now in LA. I can say that yeah, publishing deal can help you, but I think one thing for me, I'll just speak for me. I'm not particularly interested, not that interested. Um, and the reason for me personally is just how I work. I like to be in a little bit more control. And I think sometimes, being a professional musician is a very difficult thing. There's so many things you have to balance. And I'm still working towards my goals. So I'm a work in progress. But I think that we have to be wary when we look at other when we look at situations like how can somebody else get me to where I want to be? Because I've noticed some people and some producers and artists that I know well, they'll say like, oh man, I just got to break through. I just got to know this person. I got to know that. I got to do this. Like I need people to put me on. That kind of approach. 2021, put yourself on. Like that is the most important thing. You need to put yourself on. And that's why I think BeatStars, for me, is a more valuable asset than a publishing deal, at least in hypothetical terms, because I have not been offered one. We'll see what happens when I get offered one. But for right now, like, the beauty of BeatStars and focusing on that is you're able to keep your money and you're able to have ownership. You know what I mean? And that is a sacrifice that you have to make when you go into a publishing deal. It can't open you up to certain artists and certain opportunities. And my friend is a great example. But I'll tell you right now, my friend, he worked for 4 years, 70 hours a week, and didn't get a single cut. You know what I'm saying? So don't necessarily think you get that you're gonna get the money and you're gonna get you're gonna get success, because it's gonna take time. So I would really encourage everybody here, and I'm sure a lot of people are, invest in your BeatStars and keep that as solid passive income while you also chase other goals. That's just what works for me, because I'm looking to break into the industry as well, but I'm really looking to use both. It doesn't have to be one or the other.
Got you, man. Well said. I'm glad you dropped some more gems on them before we head out, man. Y'all keep dropping some questions here. And, I agree with you pretty much 100% in what you said. And I'm going to kind of keep that, alone and leave that alone, because I could talk a lot about accepting things that can either hinder you, or there's pros and cons to everything. So, yeah, when it comes to publishing deals, it depends on the deal. It depends on where you're at in your career. It depends on what you want out of your career. So there's a lot of moving factors. And it just because, oh, come on, just because it's gold. What was it saying? What's his name, man? Kid Cudi.
What's that?
Pursuit of Happiness. Just because it's shining just because it's gold. Somebody put it in the comments. Basically, just because it looks good doesn't mean it's always good, basically.
Yeah.
And I'm messing up the actual words, but because it was a perfect segue and I got excited. So let's but yeah, basically just because it's shining doesn't mean it's gold. That's what he says. So just because that publishing deal looks great doesn't mean it's gold. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean it's
redefine print.
Right, definitely. And have a lawyer,
You have a lawyer, an entertainment lawyer, yes.
Right, a good lawyer. So thanks, Machine Smith. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate the love, man. Definitely. So let's check out some more questions before we head out. And let's see here. Someone says never sell your masters. That's not an actual question, but I feel you on that. Nick, did you want to speak on that at all? Never sell your masters?
Well, I mean, I'll be honest, I'll be totally like upfront. I haven't even really gotten situations where like I'm talking about high level production credits and a lot of money on the table. I'm still working towards those goals. So take what I say with a lot of salt. I'm not a big fan of never language, just in general, because I'm kind of like, depends on the situation. But that said, bro, I feel where you're coming from 100%. I feel the spirit of what you're saying 100%, because yes, it's all about ownership and in protecting your art. And like I said before, in 2021, you got to make yourself your own boss. And that's exactly the mentality. So I completely understand, where they're coming from with that at the same time.
Yeah. And shout out to Evo Music Live, man. You've been a great supporter. Definitely appreciate that comment. Much love. What a great Sunday Sounds. Hey, you know what? To be honest, this is actually my first Sunday Sounds show. I used to do the Saturday Sessions show with artists, so I'm kind of flipping it a little bit. And I was invited to do Sunday Sounds, so definitely appreciate that comment, man. This is my first Sunday Sounds show with Nick Neighbours, and he's doing an amazing job, man. Let's see here. Any more questions? The board is open. And I have a question for you. You mentioned some of your goals. What are some of your goals as a music producer? Like, let's say this year, what is something that would like blow your mind, other than being on this interview, like in your in your music career? Like what would be a great goal to reach this year or in the next 5 years?
Yeah, in the next 5 years. Well, I'll be honest, I just pulled open a tab on my computer. I was just working on my goals today. So I can tell you in my 6-month category, I want to reach 100K on BeatStars. So that's one thing I'm working towards in the next 6 months, and I will accomplish that. I think in terms of like, longer term goals, my goal has always been to
Let's
heal.
interrupt.
Oh, I'm sorry. What
100K
happened?
100K
Yeah.
plays or
100K,
revenue.
100K. Oh shoot, that's one of my goals too, but that's a little later on. 100K streams. So that's
Okay,
just streams, not
just
not
wanted to
sales.
define it.
Yeah,
Okay, my
yeah.
bad.
Because I think that my wife has a great term for this. I forget what it's called, but it was vanity statistics or something. And what she means by that is plays don't always mean just like followers. How many followers do they have? That is important. Like it's important, but it's also not that important. And that's just something I want to say to producers as well. I think I set that goal of 100K for BeatStars as a metric because I think the more plays you get, the more you're getting your music out to the people, and the more opportunities for sales. But that's not always the case. That's not always the case. You never know how much people are spending on their marketing budgets, etc. So that's just one thing. One of my goals is 100K this year. And and then I want to make 6 figures off of BeatStars alone. Plaques. I do want industry plaques in the next like 7 years. In the next 3 years, working with my production partner, I want to have placements in the industry, and we're working on stuff like that right now. Yeah, man, a lot of goals. I got a lot of goals.
Yeah,
It's
no, that's
important to write
awesome.
those down.
Yeah, exactly. I can speak volumes on direction, and having something written down of where you're headed with your career. Because if you don't write anything down, like I say in other videos and stuff, and to my community, if you don't have any, it's like a GPS. You don't have a destination. Where are you going? You know what I mean? That's what goals are. You got to have, a pinpoint direction of where you want to be and what you want to accomplish, because we're not going to be around forever. You know you know what I mean, and that's the essence of evolution. You always want to grow and get to something, and it's very important to have goals. Just to close that.
Yes, man. Amen.
uh, there's another question we had. Let's see here. We got some good questions here. And I always go over time, but I definitely always like to give y'all value. Let's see here. I thought I saw another one. And you can't see the comments there, Nick, can you?
Nah, I can't.
Okay.
Oh, wait, hold up. I just clicked.
Okay, here's one. As a beat producer slash seller in BeatStars, what are some marketing techniques you use to get your newest beat in front of the eyes of potential buyers? No need to give away your own secrets. Maybe just a general trick or tip.
That's a good question, man. That's a great question. Thank you, Evo. Sometimes this is kind of a weird answer, but sometimes I don't want my newest beat necessarily to be the one. There's a feature when you upload a track in BeatStars, it on your feed, which is like the home page, kind of like your home page in BeatStars, it will automatically show your newest beat right there. And to get more eyes on it, there's things you can do. You could definitely use the marketing platform on BeatStars. I would really recommend using that. That's a really helpful tactic. I've personally had a lot of success promoting, I think is the word, promotion. Look at the promotion tab. If you promote a track, you can get a lot of eyes on it. Like I think I can get, if I spend $200, I'll get like 8,000 streams. Usually that's about what I'm getting on return. And with that, you get a lot of eyes on your beats. So that's one thing you can do is promote. Two, I would say is something I just started doing, which is pinning. You can pin your beat. So you can like pin a specific beat to your page. So when when people get to your feed, even if it's a beat from months ago, it will be the top, it will be at the top. So people will like play that first. So that's something to also keep in mind. And I think there was a second question as well. I see something.
Yeah, I'll go through the question so you don't have to
Okay, you
go
got it.
through
All
the
right, bro.
feed. Yeah, good responses there. Replies. A lot of people are afraid to. It's basically investing. The BeatStars Promote campaign, where you can promote actually different things. You can promote albums, you can promote tracks, and your profile. And basically, what that is amplifying your reach as a a creative, as a producer, and you're getting to new listeners. And that's vital, always getting new listeners, because we're all doing the same thing, but everybody is unique. And even marketing ideas can be slightly different as well, because that's unique to what you do. So those are some gems as well. And one that I was going to mention is the distribution. BeatStars does distribution now. So that's another way that you can get your music further, because there's on different platforms in different countries. It's insane. I think it's 40 different platforms. You can, distribute that one beat. You know what I mean? So you're getting a lot more ears and a lot more people paying attention to what you're doing. And it's definitely vital to any creative to do that. So just wanted to touch on that just a little bit. Are you doing the distribution, Nick?
Man, I'm about to look it up right now.
Okay.
Because you got me excited. I know they did something with Sony ATV, I think it was. Or is that the publishing? I might be confusing with the publishing.
Yeah, that's
okay.
publishing. Yeah.
Yeah, tell me more about the distribution aspect, or I can ask you off air, whatever.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. But it's in your account. All you do is look at the top, and you'll see a tab that says distribution. And I think if you hover over, I can go to my account now, but it's at the top. And if you hover over it, you'll see it. It's built right into, and it'll take you to the BeatStar Studio, where you'll see the distribution. And it's actually,
wow.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And you can, I think it's just an annual fee, and you're good to go, man. So it's built right in. So
wow,
it makes it a lot easier. There was another question I saw. Oh, here we go. Evo Music. I think you had one. There we go. We did talk about it a little bit. And one second question. Do you master your beats to any degree before posting them for sale on BeatStars? That's a good question.
That's a great question, man. Yeah, absolutely. I'm in no way a professional when it comes to mastering. I've had the pleasure of being, trained by like mixing engineers, some professional mixing engineers, but I don't really get like mastering that well. I would say, don't let your mastering prevent you from releasing that beat, because I think that's like the last step. And I know as creatives, sometimes we like want to hold ourselves back because we're perfectionists. So I mean, for me, I can tell you what my chain is. I mean, I use like Isotope, Ozone, specifically, and I use like presets. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't have that specific mastering plugin suite, simply just put a compressor and a limiter on it and just call it a day. I mean, really, as long as it's slapping, you know what I mean? And that's, I think, is all you really have to do. So that's my process right there.
There we go. And like I said earlier, everyone has a different technique about mixing and mastering. Some producers don't even master. Some don't mix either. So that's the thing. That's their thing, and it's successful for them. So be it. You know what I mean? So what was the other thing I was gonna? So there's another question I saw here. Let's see. I think it's RLY Riley Beats. We actually already went through his goals already. That was a little earlier, but thanks for your question. Let's see. Also, okay, here's one by Trax Phantom. How should a independent artist negotiate their royalties? Is it based on plays on streams? So did you want to touch on that a little bit?
I think I'm gonna pass that to you, bro, because I think you might actually have a better idea. To be honest, I could say some things, but
for us, well, for me to tell you how to negotiate is, well, it depends on a lot of factors. And you're saying an independent artist should negotiate their royalties. So I'm guessing you negotiate publishing when it comes to a beat. That's what I'm guessing what the question means. BeatStars actually has an internal negotiation process. So you can negotiate with the producer whether you want, 40-60 or 50-50, or if you want all the publishing, but usually you're going to pay a lot more for the exclusive for that. So being an artist, I mean, it depends on where you are in your career too, because if you have a huge following, you have more leverage to negotiate, and that's with any negotiation. if you have, already a million fans as an artist and you're independent, you can negotiate the hell out of your royalties because you have all this backing. You know what I mean? So you have a lot more leverage. And is it based on streams? Usually royalties are. I'm guessing you're going more towards either publishing or what do you call it? Distribution. So it's usually stream based, and then you can get into mechanical royalties and all the stuff that gives everyone headaches. So hopefully that gives you kind of a breakdown. Let's see, Quantize.
I
He
want to
said,
say one thing, yo, fanatic.
mhm,
I got one thing on that. Just one thing to add. Yeah, I think and this is like more theoretical knowledge, and me interviewing my friends and their experiences because I haven't really been there. So I'll say it as a disclaimer. I have done negotiations with independent artists, and like you said, bro, on the website, BeatStars makes it really easy to do that. It's fantastic. It's really smooth. What I will say about streams and just some general knowledge about publishing, streams constitute a very small amount of the money. The most of the money that, for example, one of my best friends hits that he had, a hit record he had, performance royalties are the ones that actually generate the most income. And performance royalties refers to when your song is being performed in like a public space, for example, at a club, or it's being played at Macy's, or streams sometimes kind of are considered performances. It depends on, you know what I mean? But performance royalties actually are what generate more money than the streams alone. So there's a lot of different things, as well as mechanical, which refers to videos and YouTube and stuff. I think I'm still reading on this stuff myself, but
yeah.
there's a lot of things. Don't get too caught up in too much of it. That's all I would say, because I know for me, there's just so much information, and it's just like, oh my God, it can be a little a little bit hard to get through at times.
Yeah, and the biggest thing I can say for y'all is educate yourself. There's a lot of really good books out there on music business that breaks down all these different avenues of revenue. I mean, I've been making music a long time and I'm still learning it, but I'm getting more of a grasp of what a mechanical royalty is, what performance royalty, publishing, even sync royalties, and also, knowing what the artist gets and what the producer gets, master rights and all that. So through the years, you'll get better and better on both sides, creatively and academically, in a sense. Like you'll start learning it more, especially when experiences present themselves for you to learn those things. So always be open to learning that, and it's important, because that's the business side of it. Let's see. There's a question I saw. This is funny. I don't know. It's up to you if you want to answer. I have a question from Quantize. I have a question, but will you answer? LOL. Around how many beats does Nick Neighbours and DJ, I guess that's me, DJ Fanatic, sell? I'm asking a round number. Don't have to say the exact. It's up to you if you want to say revenue or if you want to say 1 to 1,000. Totally up to
Right.
you, man.
Here's what I'll say. You're gonna post as you growing. You're gonna post a lot more than you sell. Sometimes I'm waiting. I'm just like, wait, like let's go, like let's make a sale, man. Come on, like someone buy this, let's go. And it takes time. It takes time. I'm not making six figures. I'll tell you that right now. I'm not making 50,000. You know what I mean? I'm working up that. But yeah, they come and they go, and it can be a little inconsistent. Right now, in this week alone, I haven't sold a beat. You know what I'm saying? So that's this week. Maybe next week will be better. You never know.
Yeah, well said, man. For years, I've been making music and even like not even posting it anywhere. And for years, I was making music, not even like being on camera or social media, like behind the scenes, just doing it because I love it and I wasn't selling it. And then when I started to sell it, for years, I didn't make anything. Like the first 2 years, I didn't make nothing. And I was putting out music constantly. And I also think my craft wasn't ready yet. And like I wasn't as talented at the time. But thankfully, I progressed over time. Sales been steady. numbers have been just up and up and up and up, man. I'm just blessed, and I'm at a different place creative wise and mentally, and I just took it a lot more serious. When I started, I was just BSing, man. I was like, I wasn't taking it serious. I was just making music. Yeah, that's dope. Playing it for my homies, just family and whatnot, or just I wasn't taking it as a business. And the more I took it seriously, the more I seen a return. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to share exact numbers, but this week has been a very successful week for me, and I'm just blessed, man. Even not making sales, I'm blessed because someone still listens to my music, and I see it either way. I'm blessed because money doesn't mean much to me. You know what I mean? Because that's dust in the end. It's what I do for other people, and also how I express myself through music to help other people express themselves. So that means a lot to me.
Man, I'm with you, bro. That's exactly my prerogative at the same time. It's impacting people and expressing myself and connecting with others, and then the money.
Right.
That's my business model. Everybody has their own. And yeah, I think the most important thing is just to know that you're growing. That's the most important thing. Like, my numbers have been just constantly since COVID. It went just like, boom, it went up. And that's actually because I designed a marketing plan. Not just like coincidence. But as long as you're growing, I think that's the most important thing. And for me, I can get caught up in achieving this goal, or I don't have this, or I don't have that. As long as I'm exponentially growing, I don't mean just growing. I'm personally trying to be like, I'm trying to go like this. So I'm climbing. I'm not strolling. I'm climbing up the mountain. As long as I'm growing at a very fast rate, and as long as I'm uncomfortable, because I make sure I'm uncomfortable. I try to make myself uncomfortable at times. Like, that's how I know I'm doing something right to some degree. Like, oh, this is kind of tough. Like, oh, 3 beats a week. Oh, that kind of sounds challenging. Let's do it. Let's try it. Let's see. And that's kind of how I approach.
Yeah, exactly, man. Great gems right there. Like, yeah, you said so much right there. We're gonna leave that alone. That was perfect, man. Evo Music, thank you, man. He says, you guys are effing rock stars. Thank you so much for taking the time to answer the questions with such depth. Man, I'm walking away from this stream today feeling great. Thank you, guys. Hey, man, it's all love.
Thank you, bro.
Thank y'all for sacrificing Super Bowl to be with us. Actually, it starts in a couple hours, I think. So, but yeah, thank y'all for being here, man. We got a question here from Trax Phantom again. I think you asked a question earlier. Is it true when you are a new producer, you have to pay dues by letting go a lot of beats at a lower price or for free? I'll let you respond to that.
So I think I'll just be honest. So the way you're asking that question, I understand what you're asking, but you're your own boss. So don't assume that you have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. So paying dues, that's one approach. You know what I mean? And I think you don't have to do that. That's definitely a approach that has been popular like lately, especially with the Cash Money APs, and since him and other artists who have like really platformed free beats and they've made lots of money off of it. Remember, that is one valid track. That is one of like 10 billion valid tracks to success. And the reason why it kind of stirs up something in me, because as a producer, adapting to that free beat game has been difficult, and I haven't fully adapted to it because I haven't really totally bought into it. You know what I mean? Philosophically, there's some things that I have issues with, you know what I mean, just as an artist. But really, my answer is no, it's not true. You don't have to do that. That said, I was talking about free. There definitely is like value in being very aware of where you're at in your professional career, and being honest with yourself and being reasonable in how you ask for payment and what you require. So yeah, if you have no following and you want to start selling beats for 10 grand, exclusive 10 grand, and let's say 500 for a lease on BeatStars, you're gonna have a lot of trouble doing that because you didn't really look in the mirror and say, well, I'm not at that track yet. I'm not there yet. So I've personally progressively grown up from, I actually have given out some free beats but limited rights really. And then I've gone up as I've seen more people buy it. You can up the price. It's supply and demand. Once people are buying it at a certain like rate, and you see that they're willing to give you a certain amount. Like for example, earlier this year, somebody negotiated a price for an exclusive beat that was double what I've been selling my exclusive beats for. I was like, okay, people are willing to pay this much. All right, I'm up my price. I'm gonna up my price. If I'm really valued, if these customers are valuing me at that level, then I should also value myself at that level and change it. So I guess what I'm saying is, consider what path makes you feel comfortable, but also be aware of where you are in the grander scheme of things. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, exactly. Like, you're just starting out. You definitely, you're not getting many plays and you're not getting, much revenue. I mean, it's a starting point. You're just starting out. And you got to also think about, you know, how much time and energy you put into it. And you can't start with like $1,000 basic license. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Non exclusive.
exactly.
It doesn't make sense. So, I mean, like, put yourself in the customer's shoes. There's a lot of other producers that are super talented, and also a lot of it depends on how you work. Like who you are as a person. Because sometimes people won't even like you'll have the hottest stuff, but they don't want to work with you because you're cocky. You know what I mean? Or you don't communicate, like we mentioned earlier. So there's a lot of factors when it comes to um pricing, and also I hate saying pay dues because it seems like a negative every time you say pay dues. I think it's more like wherever you are, like you said, where you are as a business person or as a creative. So you pretty much summed it up really well, man. So let's see, any more questions? We're over time as I usually do. Hopefully y'all ain't mad at me, man. Much love to the BeatStars fam. I always love doing these, and I can do these forever. Any more questions before we roll out? Lamar says, be honest with yourself, yet don't sell yourself short. Good advice.
Yes, yes.
And also, Chris says, remember, as any business owner, you pick your clients. Your clients don't pick you. That's pretty deep, man. Did you want to?
Oh yeah, that's a great. Wow. Yeah, that's a gem right there. I might write that down.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mm.
You pick your clients, they don't pick you. So, yeah, it's almost like the law of attraction. You know what I mean? It's like you set your price for what you feel like you're worth,
Mm.
and you're picking those people that will gravitate to that. So it's kind of like that. Yeah, I feel you on that. Yeah. I'm not gonna post that comment. Y'all are funny. So anyway, for all those that make choices, are you gonna make a beat now, or are you gonna go watch the Super Bowl? You know what I'm saying? You always got choices. You know, there's always a choice with your music, and what you choose to do with it. It's been a dope, really good pleasure, man, having you on the show. My first Sunday Sound show. Again, if you don't see it on the screen, it's your boy DJ Fanatic Beats at BeatStars, and we showcase Nick Neighbours, also a DMV native here on the East Coast. And yeah, these comments are hilarious.
Yeah,
So,
see you too.
Nick, any advice before you head out here, man? Any advice to just the producer community overall?
Man, just keep expressing yourself, man. Just keep going. That's the key. You'll get there. You have a plan, you'll get there.
There you go. Have a plan and keep going. Like I was saying, man, it's forward motion. Always have forward motion to that goal. Like you said, have a plan. Like even if when you stop moving, you're not going anywhere. And even if you're not going anywhere, in a sense, you're moving backwards. So because you're not moving forward. So I'm gonna let that marinate and let y'all think about that. It's been a really dope Sunday Sounds, and I got beats to make because Nick Neighbours really inspired me. And it's gonna be really loud back here. my dog is ready. So anyway, y'all have a really blessed day and a dope weekend. And also much success to everybody. Thanks for joining us. And if you missed it, you can check it out next time. It's super long, so you might want to double time it. Peace.